Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to STSPN. We're broadcasting live tonight at Jackson High School. Tonight's matchup is Jackson High School and Cascade Bruins. We are going to be simulcasting tonight with AM 1380 KRKO. Let's join them now and listen to what they have to say.
Good. You know, they're going to build for next year.
Exactly. That'll be their second year under Coach McNeil. They'll have the system down, and I expect Cascade to be really tough next year.
And we kind of mentioned a little bit during the pregame as well, Jackson's fortunes probably lie with the tournament draw as to when they meet the number one team now in the state, Garfield, when we start hitting. You know, Garfield drops one, suddenly they get a number two draw, and you see them in the regionals.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that is the championship game. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be indeed fun. Now you get 30 seconds to give me your Super Bowl 48 scenario. Not just a win, what's going to happen?
What is going to happen is Peyton Manning's going to look good early. The Seahawks are going to be down by 10 at the first half, score right before halftime to be down by 3, and then Denver's not going to score in the second half, and the Seahawks are going to win by 10.
Live on Fox Sports 1380, we're counting down to tip-off for Wesco basketball. The Jackson Timberwolves take on the Cascade Bruins from the Jackson High School gym in Mill Creek. For Bill Kusser, I'm Tom Lafferty, and that'll do it for this edition of the Wesco Tonight.
Starting for Bruins, a 6'1" junior, number 35, Justin Gordon.
Tom Lafferty and Bill Kusler will be back in a minute
Number 22, Connor.
as they're doing introductions. As you heard earlier, Jackson High School is going to look good coming into the playoffs. We will pause now for the
Shane Day and Steve Allison. And now will you please rise and remove your hats for our national anthem sung tonight by 8 and 5-year-olds Adrian and Gianna Roa.
Back to the Jackson High School Gymnasium. I'm Tom Lafferty along with Bill Kusser. Our statistician is Pat Castro. Our director of social media is Buddy Patrick. Our in-studio network producer is Brandon Hamilton. We're counting down to the tip-off for this Wesco 4A Boys South Division matchup between the Cascade Bruins and the Jackson Timberwolves. We welcome all those watching as well on STSPN here on this Tuesday night, Bill. We've had some great renditions of the national anthem the last couple of weeks.
Oh, that was fantastic. We had that trombone quartet a couple weeks ago, and now we had a 5 and an 8-year-old brother and sister combination sing the national anthem. They were fantastic, and they got a tremendous roar and round of applause.
The ball is in the air, and we are underway. The officials, the referee is Shane Day, the umpire Steve Worth, the second umpire is Steve Allison. We're underway. Jackson controls on their home floor in their white jerseys, trimmed in green and black. Moving to our left, they go to Jason Todd, scoreless the other night, kind of by design. Here's a 3 in the corner, left side corner, it's up, and it's good for Connor Wilgress. First lead of the ball game. Who else? Jackson Timberwolves.
Cascade packing it in a 2-3 zone, and that time Todd going on the inside going inside, then kicking it out, and Wilgris hit the three, and he's been scoring well the last few games.
Quick hands by Kingma, takes the ball away, and it's going to be a steal. And then a bad pass actually kind of tried to lead Jason Todd to the baseline. They couldn't quite make that connection on a turnover, give it right back to Cascade.
Yeah, Todd was setting up to try to take about a 15-footer, and Kingma thought that he was going to drive to the hoop and threw the ball out of bounds. So Cascade with the ball back. Jackson in there man-to-man, taking up Cascade way outside. They know that Cascade's a guard-oriented offense.
Brevin Brown with it. Cascade in their traveling maroon uniforms. Crimson, dark crimson if you will. Foul called. Trimmed in white with Cascade across the chest. And the first foul of the ball game is going to be called here on Brian Zaire, our player of the game a week ago, as Jackson beat Arlington. Here's the inbounds now, and it'll be Cascade with it. First personal foul, first team foul. Zaire with that infraction, and it'll be Cascade ball with a fresh 35 in the shot clock, which is now down to 25 to get a shot off. They go on the baseline, and they could not make that connection there off the fingertips of Michael Begonia, and it's going to be out of bounds for Jackson. We'll get the pronunciation as we go along. We had it the other night when he was our player of the game.
Baguna, I think.
Baguna. Okay, here's a long shot. No good. Rebound. Grabbed by Jason Todd. He flicks it over to left side to Blake. Now to Zaire. Zaire closed off defensively, trying to go down the middle. They'll kick it back out and work the perimeter. 26 in the shot clock. Jason Todd deep in the right-hand corner. Goes on top of the key as they swing it around the perimeter left side to Zaire. Closed off at the baseline. That means Blake is open for a three, misses, no good, and the rebound's going to be grabbed down by Justin Gordon of Cascade. Bruins out of backcourt, a 3-0 lead for Jackson here in the early going over Cascade. Bagonia down to the baseline, back to the basket, goes back out as they're going to look out topside, and now dribbling in, going in. McGrath puts it up too hard off the glass, no good. Battle for the rebound, scrap for it. It's going to be one on the floor by Wilgress, outlets it up the floor, and here comes Kingma to the baseline, pass to the top, and it's going to be a foul called. Ball's going to be out of bounds at the baseline. They're going to call the foul on Brevin Brown, overplay on that defense. The 5'7" junior picks up his first personal foul and the first team foul, out of bounds for Jackson at the baseline.
Well, Cascade is showing some really tough defense and packing in that 2-3 zone. Jackson having difficulty penetrating the ball.
Of course, if you dare them to shoot, then what will happen is King will hit about 6 3 balls in a row on the outside, and then you don't dare him to shoot anymore.
Well,
another foul going to be called.
They definitely know where he is. On the other hand, Cascade has been able to do nothing on offense. Jackson's man-to-man defense has been absolutely smothering. So a defensive battle here so far.
Brennan Hancock, first personal foul, second team foul. Again, inbounds for Jackson. Lob to Zaire, too high by Blake. Out of bounds, and he turn it over to the Cascade Bruins. So a couple of trips down the floor and a couple of turnovers for the Jackson T-Wolves. They lead at 3-0. We're at 5:42 to play. Opening quarter, Cascade at Jackson on a Tuesday night. Working around the right side, a nice backdoor feed. They got it in for a breaking Cameron McGrath for the bucket, and it's a 3-2 Jackson lead.
Well, that was a nice play, a little backdoor action from the offside. Perfect pass.
By Hancock down to McGrath for the breakaway lay-in. And here's a pass that was kicked out of bounds by Cascade, so reset on the 35. 5:23 to go, opening quarter.
Let's watch it, see if they do that play again they did last time, where they did a little alley-oop play.
Well, this was just kind of almost a handoff to Brian Zaire, who lost the defender and laid it up and in, and opens up again a 3-point lead. Jackson 5, Cascade 2. Brevin Brown comes across the timeline, guarded there by Kingma. He'll give it off to his backcourt mate there, Justin Gordon, top of the key, dribble drive, right-hand side, going in. Left hand laying up good by Brennan Hancock, and it's a 5-4 ball game. 1-point lead for Jackson. Blake at the right wing.
Cascade hanging in there, doing a really nice job so far.
Brian Zaire deep in the left-hand corner. They, again, work the perimeter. Cascade drops back in that 2-3 zone. Out between the circles is Todd, left side, three, good by Connor Wilgress. It drains a 3-ball.
Wilgress had 19 the other night, usually scores around 6 points per game, but defense is daring them, and that's just what Jackson needs is another weapon, but they've come up with one. Wilgress, who's 2 for 2 from three-point range here so far.
Pagania top of the key, looking down right side. He goes over there. That's Brevin Brown. Down to Hancock, top of the key. Bounce pass back to the basket. Looking, and he's going to kick it back out. They're going to work the perimeter. And breaking through again is Brevin Brown. Foul called. They like that little give and go feed out to the left side and then have the guard break to the hoop. That time he kind of ran into a brick wall.
Well, they're trying to go backdoor because Jackson is overplaying the defense so much, and it's been effective so far. Gotten a couple of open looks.
Connor Wilgress with the foul, his first. 3 ball on the way, no good by Gordon. Rebound controlled by Jackson. T-Wolves out of backcourt. Kingma stops, pops, 18-footer, good. Top of the key, Dan Kingma for a 2-ball. Opens up a 6-point lead for Jackson.
Well, that time, Brevin Brown played good defense on him, but Kingma puts a little step in front move, and then he fades back, and there's no way you can block that shot when he takes that step back, and he has such a quick release.
Yeah, it's almost like cheating. The way when he does that, it just frees the defender. Not freeze like let's set some free, freeze like F-R-E-E-Z-E. Brevin Brown, left side, looks down, still on the dribble against Kingma, finds no opening there, goes long cross-court pass near side now to Gordon. Gordon on the dribble, 13 on the shot clock. No, excuse me, 4 on the shot clock. Out to the top of the key. Somebody's going to have to cast one off. They do. It's going to be no good. They worked and worked and worked, and there is your Jackson defense.
Wow. Well, Jackson worked and worked, but kind of a bad move is that Marcus Blake got called for a foul on that desperation 3. So McGrath will go to the free throw line shooting 3 free throws.
Boy, I got faked out on that one. I thought they were going to give it out of bounds to Jackson on the shot clock violation. Instead, it's Marcus Blake with the foul. That is his first personal foul and the 3rd team foul. First free throw, no good. He's going to get 3 here for Cameron McGrath. Next one, no good. He gets 1 more. Go back, boys. We're gonna. This is a 3 free throws, of which he's hit none so far. He's got one more chance. He's kind of looking dejected standing there at the line.
You know, if you're Cascade, you've got to hit your free throws if you want to have any chance of staying in this ball game.
Next one, hat trick. No, he hits 1. So he hit 1 of the 3. It's a 10-5 score. Jackson with the lead. McGrath will go to the bench, and checking in for him is Nick Beninati. Isaiah Gotel also checks in.
Gotel had a really nice ball game the other night for them, giving some scoring punch, had 14 points against Mariner.
And now, does he have blood on his uniform or something? So Justin Gordon has to go back to the bench, and he's going to have to get some medical type attention from the coach is going to be down there. So that will put Cameron Cook out onto the floor. And here we go. Jackson with a lead, with a double score lead over the Cascade Bruins. 10-5, 3:11 to go opening quarter. Brian Zare, foul line jumper on the way, bounces off the back of the rim, no good. As Wilgress tries to go in and grab the rebound, he kicks it back out instead to Kingma. He's open at the left wing but doesn't take the shot. Now it goes down to Zare going in, breakaway, laying up and good off the assist by Jason Todd. And Brian Zare with the bucket, and it's a 12-5 lead, up by 7.
So Jason Todd hasn't scored yet in this game either, but he has 4 assists already.
Pull-up jumper, 18-footer, rattles off, no good by Beninati. Rebound controlled by Blake. Up the floor they come. Brian Zare has it. Fakes one way, goes in to triple team. He just keeps control of the basketball, waits for the defenders to lose interest, and then he goes around him and lays it up and in.
Did a great job of keeping his pivot foot in one spot and felt the pressure on one side lead to the other side, and all of a sudden he's got such a long stride that he put the ball right over the rim for a lay-in.
Timeout called on the floor by Cascade. We step aside with 2 minutes and 29 seconds to go in the opening quarter. It's 14-5. Jackson leading Cascade. Snohomish County Western Conference Basketball on Fox Sports 1380.
KRKO.com. Calling the action tonight are Tom Lafferty and Bill Kusler. Join Fox Sports 1380 for the best basketball coverage all season long.
Tom Lafferty along with Bill Kusler. Thanks for being with us here on this Tuesday night, live from Jackson High School in Mill Creek. Cascade basketball, after calling the timeout, they're down by 9 points here in the early going to Jackson. Right side, Brevin Brown starts a dribble, pull-up jumper from the foul line, rattles off, no good. Kept alive and surrounded by white shirts from Mill Creek. Up the floor comes Kingma. Looked at the 3, didn't take it. Just continues to dribble. Now he'll go to Todd. To Blake. Now to Wilgress at the baseline. Closed off there. Back out to Blake. Long cross-court pass over to Kingma. Loses his defender. No shot there. He'll go to Zaire. Zaire down to, boy, they pass very quickly and crisply down to the left wing. It goes down to Zaire. 12 on the shot clock. Cross-court pass at the baseline down to Blake, down to 7 seconds to go. And with 7 seconds on the shot clock, Dan Kingma drains about a 23-footer and makes it a 12-point lead.
Yeah, he doesn't worry about that high school three-point line. He's back behind the pro three-point line to hit that.
That's for the little kids out there. He's out in the big boy territory. Bagonia down at the baseline, looking out top. He's guarded there by Jason Todd. Faces up to him the whole time. Finally gets rid of the basketball. Goes to Cameron Cook on the dribble against Marcus Blake. Now the ball's going to be knocked away by Blake, but grabbed by Bagonia again. Looking cross court. 8 on the shot clock, down to 7. Here's a long 3. Rattles and goes for Brevin Brown of the Cascade Bruins.
Well, that defense was really tough, and Brown just was open for a second, but he was able to knock it down.
1 minute to play in the opening quarter, a 17-8 lead. Jackson basketball. Jackson lead, a little double pump, put up and good for Jason Todd. First points in 2 games for Jason Todd.
Yep, and he's doing all other aspects. As I said, he has 4 assists already to go with the rebound.
Bagonia top of the key. 24 on the shot clock, 38 on the first quarter clock. And that's going to be 5 seconds closely guarded. That's Jason Todd just all over him and doesn't allow Bagonia to get rid of the basketball. So on the turnover, gives it right back over to Jackson.
And that's the thing about Jackson is if you're defending them, with the playoffs coming up, if you decide you want to take Jason Todd out as far as not allowing him to score, there's so many other ways that he can hurt you and other players can hurt you. You cannot focus on 1 or even 2 guys. You take Kingma and Todd out of the game, and Zaire and Wilgris and the other guys will hurt you.
Down low, Zaire, little double pump move, turn around, puts it up and in from 8 feet away with 19 seconds to go, and the lead is 13 points. Biggest lead of the game so far for the Jackson T-Wolves. Out the left side is Isaiah Gotel. Down to 10, down to 9 seconds to go in the quarter. Bagonia back to the basket, back to Gotel again as they trying to go to Gotel here on the near side, and it's going to be out of bounds. Last touch by Jackson with 2.3 seconds to go in the quarter. It'll be inbounded in front court here for Cascade. Cameron Cook right in front of the Jackson coaching staff right in front of us. Bagonia, does he know how much time it is? No. Turn around, shot. Banker, no good. End of the first quarter, our score. It's the Jackson Timberwolves 21, the Cascade Bruins 8. This is Snohomish County Western Conference basketball on Fox Sports 1380. Thank you.
But, Todd does seem a lot less aggressive. I mean, he got the ball down there, and it's almost like, I guess I'll go ahead and put it up and in. I wonder if that's by design. He's just really trying to get everybody else ready to go for the playoffs.
Bill, you had a good point during the timeout there. Jason Todd looking a little less aggressive, but maybe that's by design on his part.
It might be. He might just be trying to get other people ready, and when teams try to take him away, he wants everyone else to be able to go to it, and they've got so many weapons, and boy, a lot of Jackson players have blood on them, so they're coming over and getting the blood washed off of their jersey. I think actually it was one of the Cascade Bruins who was bleeding and spattered a little bit, so nothing serious, and they're taking care of it.
Now Jackson comes in the AP ranked number 2, Garfield number 1. Richland, Kent Ridge, Central Valley, and Beamer are the rest of the top 6. Number 7 is Arlington, then Ferris, Curtis, and Gonzaga. You're going to run into some of those teams when you get to the regionals and then down to the Tacoma Dome.
Yep, and you have to be ready. Boy, Jackson 9 of 12 in the first quarter, 75% from the field, 3 of 5 from three-point range. Cascade 3 of 9 from the field, 33%.
Cascade Bruin basketball down by 13. Start of the second quarter. Long cross-court pass goes over near side. Cameron Cook. Close to the baseline. 3 guys out on him. That means somebody's open. But it's an open air ball by Brennan Hancock. No good. Kingma will bring it out of backcourt. Left-hand side. New guy in the game. Long shot's going to be no good by Sam Sofferer, the sophomore. So kind of a new whole set of players. Soffer is out there along with Holden Roberts, and then also looks like Riley Waite is out there as well. So only Kingma and Todd are out there from the starting unit, playing with 3 second line players. Cascade, 5 seconds, closely guarded a couple times. You know, Jackson, we talk so much about their offense, and Dan Kingma hits 6 threes in the game. It's their defense that'll just kill you.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are playing so well defensively. And it's not just the starting five. It's anybody that Coach Johnson puts out on the floor.
Well, I think if you're not playing tough defense, you're not going to find much time out on the floor is probably the key there.
Yep.
Here's Jason Todd, top of the key, goes around the screen set by Roberts. He puts it up and puts it in from 18 feet away. Jason Todd with 4 points in the ball game and opens up now a 25-point lead. Excuse me, 15-point lead. Well, I'm looking into the future. On cross-court bets, it's a 15-point lead. I can see into the future. Justin Gordon. Here's a shot in the corner by Cameron Cook. Hits it from the left-hand side. He says, not so fast there, big guy. We're not going to 25 yet. Now to Roberts. Baseline turnaround jumper. Looked good. Drew nothing. Here comes Cook out of backcourt. Up the floor they go. If it's hockey, that would have been offsides, by the way. Double dribble, though. In both sports, that's a turnover and give it right back over to the Jackson Timberwolves, leading it 23-11, up by a dozen with 6:25 to go here in the first half.
Cascade had good results early, doing a lot of backdoor cuts, but they have not been doing those lately as Jackson has been taking their overplays back a little bit and not allowing that cut. So
Yeah,
forcing Cascade to shoot from outside.
They put the big, ugly, snarly dog out by the back door. Here's Riley Waite. He goes back door, though. He says, nice doggy, and lays it up and in. It was a 25-11 score. Up by 14 points is Jackson.
Riley White impressed me last night watching the Linwood-Jackson girls game. While all the other Jackson boys players were up in one spot, he was down with all those weirdly painted guys cheering on the sideline.
Was he weirdly painted?
No, he wasn't, but he was with those guys, very involved in cheering for the girls last night.
Justin Gordon hits for Cascade. Dan Kingma tries to answer with a three on the other end. It comes off the front of the iron, no good. And the rebound's controlled by Cameron McGrath, and here comes Cascade. Down by 25-13 score, 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Cameron Cook almost dragged the pivot foot there. Goes left side. That is Brennan Hancock with it. Hancock to McGrath. Goes in, laying up. Too hard off the glass. No good. Again, surrounded by white shirts from Jackson. Kingma, top of the key. Little burst of energy. No look. Pass on the bounce to the baseline for the laying up and good by Riley Waite.
It's 2 assists for Kingma, 5 assists for Todd, and they're getting assists on virtually every bucket.
Isaiah Gotel, right wing. Steve Johnson up coaching right in front of us over to our right there. Cameron Cook gives the thumbs up sign. That must be a play. See what that brings. Top of the key, Hancock looking down low. Still looking, finally goes down low, finds Gotel for the backdoor lay-in. Good. He went around Riley Waite, laid it up and in. 27-15, back to a 12-point lead for Jackson. Holden Roberts left the baseline. High in the air, it's going to have a steal there. Knocked out of mid-air by Brennan Hancock. Grabbed on a pull-up jumper from 18 feet away, no good by Justin Gordon. Here comes Kingma out of backcourt, and then they tried to get the steal from Kingma. He gets fouled on the way across the center line, and so a foul will be whistled here on the reach-in by Cameron Cook, his first personal foul, third team foul.
Baguna and Brown back into the ball game for Cascade. They got a little bit of a rest.
Somebody's bleeding.
Yeah.
Jason Todd's got blood on the back of his shorts right on the rear end. We had Connor Wilgris came up and he had blood on his shirt.
Well, they got to figure out somebody obviously, you know, has a cut on their finger or something, and is when they're playing defense, they're touching people. And
is there a witch doctor down here? Are we having a bloodletting, or did somebody bring a whole jar full of leeches?
they bring a styptic pencil like they do when you cut yourself shaving, and they just
need some mercurochrome. Some merthiolate. Here is Zaire, top of the key. Zaire's got now an armband on the left-hand side. Looks like an MP. Turnaround jumper. Up so. Nicely done there by Riley Waite off the miss by Holden Roberts. And it's going to be 29-15.
Riley Waite 3 for 3 from the field here in the second quarter, 6 points.
Begonia has it top of the key. Dribble drive in through traffic. And he traveled with the basketball, commits the turnover. Went through a whole bunch of body, almost looked like bowling there. But instead it's going to be a turnover, give it right back to Jackson. Jason Todd will come back in after getting his blood problems taken care of, and Riley Waite will go to the bench. 3:58 to go, first half, 29-15. I still like my Brian Zaire comment. looks like an MP with an armband on his left-hand side, except MP is up there, Marysville Pilchuck. With the base. I had to get it done. Blake
More like a
Ozuna.
sphygmomanometer.
That's right, that's true. Dribble drive in, Soffer kicks it back top of the key. Ozuna to Soffer again. Back to Holden Roberts. Bounce pass to Ozuna. Down low, puts it up, laying up and good. Blake Ozuna got it to the baseline. They worked it and worked it and worked it. You got to keep away from Jason. Todd said, you know what, we'll take care of this one, big guy. 31-15, 16 points. Oh, that's a travel. Kind of some Cameron McGrath was indecisive whether to pass it, probably should have. Commits the turnover, and for Cascade, that is their 7th turnover the first half. 3 committed by Jackson so far.
And it just seems like Cascade's playing like they're a little bit intimidated right now. They came out right off the bat, played really hard, but now making some careless turnovers.
Blake Ozuna out between the circles. Roberts, one dribble, goes to Todd. They work the perimeter left side. Soffer dribbles in, back out to Todd again. He's wide open, but won't take the shot. Roberts, he dragged the pivot foot. Again, they're looking for that backdoor feed down there, so they kind of just barely drag the pivot foot, and that'll commit another turnover there by Jackson. This time they're 4th at the 3-minute mark exactly to play in the first half. A 31-15 lead for Jackson. Cascade basketball. Across the timeline, Justin Gordon has it. Looking to pass it, still looking, one dribble. Now it goes over to Gotel. Gotel looking down to Baganya at the baseline, back to the basket. Roberts on him. Now he's double teamed. Now he's nearly triple teamed. He splits the defender, and a foul is going to be called. And Brian Zare, I think, and he's kind of standing there saying, I think I just had my hand straight up in the air. He did, but he gets called for the foul.
Well, it was a nice aggressive move by Baguna as he posted up and tried to break through 2 defenders, and he drew the contact and drew the foul. He's a really strong-looking guy. I know we talked to him. He said he didn't play football, but I think that Coach Cronin,
yeah,
you know, could say you need to come out, except a little bit too late. He's a senior. Be one of those guys that like plays basketball in college and then goes to football in the pros and plays tight end.
Yeah, both free throws no good. That foul had been called there on Brian Zare, his 2nd personal foul and the 4th team foul. Speaking of Zare, 3, no good. Roberts top of the key, back over for a reload, no. Soffer says, I'll wait for the defender to fly by me. I'll put up a 2-pointer, no good from 16 feet away. And the rebound is grabbed by Gotel. Bruins out of backcourt. Here comes Cascade. Up the left-hand side, Brevin Brown. Looking down low, he goes. Magunya has it at the left baseline. Roberts on him. He'll start the dribble, bring it out to the top of the key. 10 on the shot clock. Oh, excuse me, 18 on the shot clock. There's so many burned out lights I can't tell through the one over there. It looks like 1L. So that's a travel turnover by Cascade. Just the exact perfect lights are out, so you can't really tell an 8 from a 0. So that's my excuse. Being blind and unable to see is not one of them. Havorka will come into the lineup now. Nick Havorka, the 6'1 senior. Left-hand side. Todd, now to Sauferer, now to Havorka. Right side to Zare. Again, they work the perimeter. 17 on the shot clock. Jason Todd has it. Back to the basket, now to Havorka. He shoots 3, miss, no good. Foul called. I think we got Ozuna for going over the back, trying to grab that offensive rebound, and they're going to call it on Blake Ozuna. 6'3 senior picks up the foul, his 1st personal foul, 5th team foul. So out of bounds for Cascade with 1.5 minutes to play in the first half and a 31-15 lead for Jackson.
Fatigue is going to become a factor as Jackson has 13 guys suited up and Cascade just 9, one of whom has not played at all yet.
Cameron Cook, and now here comes a whole fresh set of bodies coming in for Jackson here in the final minute of play. Cameron Cook, bounce pass to Shane Day. Problem is that Shane Day is the official wearing the striped shirt down at the baseline.
Gotel flashed like he was going to go back door. Cook thought he was going to go, which he should have done because he would have had an open lay-in, but he held up and the ball bounced harmlessly out of bounds.
So here comes Dan Kingma. Here comes Jackson, leading by a 31-15 count, up by 16 points, their biggest lead of the game. Dan Kingma tries to increase it, shoots an air ball left side, but Blake grabs the rebound and keeps him going out of bounds. They'll reset. No, they never reset the shot clock because he didn't hit the iron. Havorka had to go off his fingertips and out of bounds on that turnover. Give it over to Cascade, and they'll shoot with 50 seconds to play in the first half, down by 16 points.
Well, Kingman getting a little bit fancy on that drive, kind of a no-look pass that he didn't look.
He didn't look and didn't hit anything. Timeout on the floor called by Jackson. We step aside with 50.3 seconds to go in the first half. Jackson 31, Cascade 15. Snohomish County Western Conference basketball on Fox Sports 1380. Thank you.
He's doing his homework. On top is 2 words.
Bill, they brought you your dinner right down here in front.
Really?
4 big boxes of donuts.
Oh, man. It's going to be a great halftime.
Maple bars, some green sprinkles in there, some jelly donuts, I think. Oh, there's a game going on.
There must be Jackson donuts with the green sprinkles.
So here we go. Yeah, somebody's bleeding again. Now we got Blake Ozuna's got blood on his uniform. So there's a bleeder out there somewhere. Here's a breakaway laying up and good by Cameron McGrath.
Cameron Cook, nice pass in for the lay-in.
29 seconds to go. Shot clock is dead. Nick Havorka has it. Goes into the lane to Wilgress. Back to Havorka. The lay-in rattles off, comes off no good. Gets his own rebound. Lets 2 defenders fly by. Lays it up and in. Nick Havorka, the 6'1 senior, gets the miss and the offensive rebound and the make, and down to 8 seconds to go. Jackson with the big lead. Here's a fadeaway jumper up, no good by Justin Gordon. Down to 1 second to go. Length of the floor. Shot hits the rim. Just about went in for Connor Wilgress, and we have reached the end of the first half here at Jackson High School tonight, and probably not a big surprise here. Jackson out to a big lead. They lead it by 16 at 33-17. being in South number 1 Linwood last night. Excellent looking club. Only one loss to Cleveland on the year, the number 1 3A team. So Lake Stevens at Linwood. Lake Stevens is really in a virtual tie with Lake Stevens and Monroe are virtually tied for the 3 and 4 spots. At South number 2 Jackson, and then South number 4 Edmonds Woodway right now tied with Kamiak at North number 1 Arlington. They have a 1-game lead on Snohomish in the 4A girls. Really, Bill, I think the biggest surprise so far on the girls side has been the play of the Snohomish Panthers. They lose half their team and they're still playing pretty well.
They're playing pretty well, battling in second spot, and now they've gotten one of those players back, Pollock, and so she had 15 points the other night, and Maddie Smith's playing really well for them.
On the 3A boys side, right now, Shorewood for the South number 3 spot is tied with Shorecrest for the South number 3 spot, but it would be game number 1, Shorewood at Everett, which is North number 2. Game number 2 would be North number 4, Marysville Pilchuck at either Glacier Peak or Montlake Terrace for the 1 and 2 spot. And then South number 4, either Shorecrest or Shorewood at North number 1, Stanwood. Stanwood with a 5-game lead on Marysville Pilchuck. Flip the cards, they get the North Division, and they'll host the opening round of the district tournament for the 3A boys.
Yeah, they certainly will. And Stanwood has just been unstoppable.
And then everything else in that whole division, the 3A boys, is still in the hopper for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's true. That's why if the playoffs started today, sometimes doesn't compute.
It doesn't compute. Also, as it did in football, the Ferndale factor. Ferndale comes down and they'll take somebody's spot. Ferndale right now, the boys is 4-4 and 6-9. Same on the girls' side. Ferndale is 7-1. They are good on the girls' side. 12-3 overall. The 3A girls, game number 1 would be Montlake Terrace at Stanwood. Game number 2, either Marysville Getchell or Oak Harbor at Shorecrest. Marysville Pilchuck playing at Glacier Peak. And game number 4 would be South number 4 Shorewood at North number 1 Everett. Everett, I think, kind of ran into some difficulties here this season because they really started like a house on fire.
They did, and they've been kind of struggling a little bit lately.
And Shorecrest, we kind of joked on the way in, Buddy Patrick and I, when we were setting up the gear, they're playing without their head coach this week. He's hosting his radio show at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, boy, where's his priorities anyway?
Yeah, Dory Monson, of course, from Cairo Radio is the head coach of the Shorecrest Scots. So that's what would happen if the playoffs started today. They don't. We still have 2 weeks of the regular season, and we are going to take a look at the numbers of this one coming up in a moment. Our score at the half, Jackson 33, Cascade 16. Snohomish County Western Conference Basketball, Fox Sports 1380. 80. What?
Welcome back to Jackson High School, where the Jackson Timberwolves boys lead the Cascade Bruins by a score of 33-17. First half statistics, first for Jackson. They are 15 for 28 from the field, 53%. Just 3 of 11 from three-point range, and they have not attempted a free throw. Cascade 7 of 17 from the field, 41%. 2 of 5 from three-point range, 40%. They've only hit 1 of their 5 free throws, and the two things that stand out, number one, Jackson has taken 11 more shots than Cascade, and then Cascade has not been able to hit from the free throw line to give themselves a little help. 8 points of Brian Zaire. Connor Wilgress has 6. Riley Waite has 6. 5 for Dan Kingma. And then 2 for Nick Kvorka. 4 for Jason Todd. 2 for Blake Ozuna. For Cascade, they are led by the 5 points of Cameron McGrath. 3 points apiece for Cameron Cook and Brevin Brown, and 2 points apiece from Isaiah Gotel, Brennan Hancock, and Justin Gordon. Jackson has out-rebounded Cascade 14-5. Jackson led by the 4 rebounds of Marcus Blake and 3 for Dan Kingma. And then 9 assists for Jackson, 7 assists for Cascade, 5 assists for Jason Todd for Jackson, 3 assists for Brendan Hancock of Cascade. Cascade with 1 steal, Jackson 1 steal, and no block shots.
Coming away tomorrow night here on Fox Sports 1380, Everett Silvertips taking on the Portland Winterhawks down at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Portland. 6:30 pregame show, 7:05 the face-off. Everett at Portland tomorrow night here on Fox Sports 1380. North Sound Racing Show, 7 o'clock on Thursday. And then the Thunderbirds are at the Silvertips on Friday night. 7:05 pregame, 7:35 the face-off from Comcast Arena in downtown Everett. So here we go, set to go. Again, the officials tonight, they've had kind of a fairly easy night of it so far. We never got to the bonus in the first half. Shane Day, Steve Worth, Steve Allison. Here we go. Alternating possession controlled by Jackson. Timberwolves with original starting 5 out there as Marcus Blake, and he kind of throws a bad bounce pass and was intercepted there by Justin Gordon. And then the Timberwolves kind of stood there saying, okay, then dribble out of here then. And he couldn't do it, and then they'll actually keep possession on the held ball, the jump ball, so Cascade will have it. But I think Jackson kind of was like, what do you mean we turned it over? But he couldn't get out of there, so here we go. Now Cascade with the basketball, their first possession of the second half, with the dark crimson uniforms trimmed in white. Moving to our left, over to the left-hand side it goes to Cameron McGrath, deep in the left-hand corner, 13 on the shot clock, dribbling in, still dribbling, tries to up fake, goes to the top of the key to Hancock, 8 on the shot clock, and then Brevin Brown loses the handle on it. Kingma takes the ball away and then gets slapped across the arm by Brevin Brown, who just had his pocket picked.
Yeah, Cascade is having so much difficulty finding an open look. As we said, they only had 17 shot attempts in the entire first half. And just Jackson playing that overplay defense, about 3 inches taller per man, and Cascade just having difficulty.
Dan Kingma goes around the defender, goes over to Zaire, in fact, up fakes for the 3 ball. Now goes to the baseline, that's Blake. Bounce pass to Zaire, laying up, no good, foul called. Brian Zaire split 2 defenders, then missed the lay-in. So that erases the assist from Marcus Blake, and Brian Zaire will be at the free throw line with 2 shots coming up. The foul was whistled on Brennan Hancock, the 6'3 sophomore, his second personal foul, second team foul of the second half, and 2 shots coming up here for Brian Zaire, the first of which is good.
First free throw attempted by Jackson in the game.
And it's a double score and a 17-point lead at 34-17. Next one, good for Zaire, who was our player of the game 1 week ago in Jackson's win over the Arlington Eagles, 70-51. He had 20 points. That night, Jason Todd with 24 points for the Timberwolves.
You might wonder why Jackson is going into a zone full court press with a 18-point lead, but you got to practice that sometime. They're trying to get ready for the playoffs.
Deep in the right-hand corner, that's McGrath, has a bad pass and goes into the hands of Jason Todd. Dribbles it out of backcourt. Underhanded scoop pass for the assist for a 3 ball up and good by Dan Kingma. It was a 2. It was a 2. I thought it was a 3, so deep in the corner.
They blew the whistle to make sure the scorer knew that it was a 2-pointer. His toe was on the line.
So a 37-17, 20-point lead. That was a beautiful pass by Jason Todd. Kind of a scoop underhand over to Kingma, wide open for a 3. Bagonyad at the baseline, tried to go up with it, fouled by Connor Wilgress. Wilgress was kind of an innocent bystander there, turned around, and there was Bagonia right in his grill, but he gets called for the foul. And the first team foul of the second half. Out of bounds now for Cascade. Brennan Brown will throw it in. Left-hand side, 3 on the way. It's going to be no good by Justin Gordon. Offside board, back up, and it is in. Offensive rebound and the bucket by Brennan Hancock makes it 37-19. Jackson with the big lead with 6 minutes to play here in this third quarter of action. Dan Kingma for a 3. If he gets hot from outside, the first one was a 2. This one was a 3 ball, and it's a 21-point lead for the Timberwolves on their home floor.
And he has such a pure shot.
Down low, losing the defenders there, kind of went by, and Bagonia gets the lay-in up and good. 40-21 the score. Dribbling in, looked like a travel. No call on the travel. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NBA. And so he, though, is going to be awarded one free throw here as he's going to try for the 3-point play. The foul was whistled on Hancock. That's his third personal foul, third team foul. Connor Wilgress at the free throw line.
So Wilgress, being aggressive to the hoop, got it up, kissed it off the glass, drew the foul, and he had a big game last time out with 19 points, and so far 8 points on the night tonight.
And you could get his 9th point here with a free throw, which is on the way. And it is no good, rims out. But does he get his own rebound? He kept it alive. They're still scrapping for it down on the floor, a tie-up. And on the alternating possession, it's going to be Jackson's basketball. So they do get it back, and they'll throw it in at the baseline. Jason Todd will throw it in. With 35 in the shot clock, 5:32 to go in the third quarter. Todd still looking, long inbounds, goes way to back court to Dan Kingma. And he'll bring it into front court to our right. 3 on the way. Hucked that one up, is no good, but Zaire grabs the rebound, bounces it down to Jason Todd. Out for Connor Wilgress, couple of dribbles, puts it up, no good. Probably should have just elevated and fired. Brevin Brown behind the back, behind 2 backs, puts it up and in. He went behind his back and Connor Wilgress's back.
That was really a clever play, and he ended up getting the open look and hitting the shot.
Dan Kingma at the right wing. Dribbles into traffic, goes to Jason Todd. Cross-court pass. Goes in the corner to Wilgress. Wilgress looking down low. It's closed off there. They'll work the perimeter. Blake now to Todd. Turnaround, jumps, 12-footer, good for Jason Todd. Makes it 44-23, back to a 21-point lead. Jackson equals their biggest lead of the contest thus far this evening. Brevin Brown still in backcourt. Down to 25 on that's 10 seconds. He went to 24 on the shot clock. And a timeout called by Daryl McNeil. Very vociferously as he calls that timeout for Cascade. We step aside, 44-23. Jackson with the big lead with 4:36 to go in the third quarter. So much County Western Conference basketball on Fox Sports 1380. Seconds to go. Bill, you almost think Jason Todd, if he doesn't start shooting, he's not going to get a college scholarship. Oh, I mean, he already has a college scholarship to play Division I basketball.
I don't think that's going to be a problem, but I think at some point Steve Johnson's going to ask him to be a little more aggressive. Jason's only taken 3 shots in this whole game. He's hit all 3 of them for 6 points, but he's being so unselfish that, and in a game like this, you really don't have to, but at some point, down the line in the playoffs, he's going to have to assert himself.
Of course, when he asserts himself, then they win by 40.
Yeah, well, we've discussed that before. He's all about team and all about getting everybody in a position to be successful.
Connor Wilgress at the right side. Jackson basketball after the timeout called by Cascade. Marcus Blake deep in the corner. Now to Zaire. Now to Blake again. Blake starts to dribble. Down to Zaire. Up fakes for the 3. Dribbles, drives along the baseline. Has the ball knocked away from him by Bagonia. And here we go. Cascade with the steal. Up the floor, McGrath. Bounce pass from Brevin Brown. Behind the back, no-look pass to Marcus Blake. He plays for Jackson. On the other end, Bagonia puts him to the wall, into the padding at the wall.
I don't think it was intentional.
No, I
but,
don't think at all.
But the walls here at Jackson are fairly close to the baseline. They only have about 6 feet between the, or maybe 8 feet between the end line and the padded cement wall. And so if you're coming up full speed like Blake was, and both of them, and Bagunya kind of gives him a hand to say sorry about that, and Blake will go to the bench, and that's not very far to travel before you smack that wall.
Yeah, I don't know if they're kind of looking at him too. I don't know if maybe he hit his head too.
Uh-oh, is it going to be concussion protocol?
Yeah, he kind of whacked into that wall, kind of got blocked in there. Sam Saufer will check in, and he will take his free throws. So Saufer comes off the bench to shoot the free throws, and the first one is good. So they're still talking to him down on the bench. I think he's, in fact, the trainer is saying, yeah, he's fine.
He's fine. He knows that it's 2014, Obama's president, and
well, you already went past Buddy Patrick, but he knows. So what? So here we go. 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. Double score, 23 points, 46-23 the score. Dribble drive in, McGrath land up with the right hand, good. Little offense there for the Cascade Bruins, leading it, or Jackson leading it 46-25, 3:45 to play in the third. Connor Wilgress looking down low over to the right side to Todd, to Wilgress, wide open, but comes up short with a three ball. Sam Saufer grabs the rebound, out to Wilgress again. He was wide open again, but didn't shoot it this time. Todd, he won't either. Yes, he will. This time gets it back from Zaire and nails the three ball. 4 for 4 from the field and 10 points. Is that 10 points? 2, 4, 6, 8.
9.
9 points. Okay. I was told there'd be no math in this gig. Baganya at the baseline. Double team, tries to split the double team. They're going to call a jump ball, and Cascade will retain possession in their front court with 23 seconds on the shot clock.
Bagunya really aggressive going to the hoop, and Brian Zera, a great play to tie him up without getting a foul.
They will throw it in at the baseline. Cook will. On the inbounds, it goes to Beninati. Now Cook again puts up the left hand into the chest of Dan Kingma to clear himself some space. 14 on the shot clock. Cook looking over to the bench for some instructions. Down to 9. Down to 8 seconds. Beninati, right corner, 3. Air ball, no good. Wilgress, rebound. Kingma on the outlet. Kingma across the timeline. Little jitterbug fake it, puts it off the window and in.
He is really, really quick. Sometimes you don't realize that because he's shooting a lot of threes, but boy, when he makes up his mind to go to the basket, he's there in a hurry.
51-25 the score. 26-point lead, biggest lead of the game. Here's a shot, 3, good. Right wing, good for Cameron McGrath.
McGrath just a sophomore, and he's got 10 points in the game to lead the Bruins.
Jason Todd, left side, Saufer, 3 on the way, no good. May have been partially blocked there, I do believe, by Cameron McGrath. And here's Jackson again with a steal. Jason Todd, one-handed stuff, no, miss a lay-in, follow-up, good. Wilgress gets the tap-in off a missed lay-in by Jason Todd. 53-28, 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Cameron Cook, into front court he comes. Left side, Beninati. Nick Beninati on the dribble. Pulls up. Thought Baganya was going to get it. Instead, Justin Gordon kind of picks up the scraps on the floor and lays it up and in. Ball was just laying there. He picked it up, said, I'll lay it in myself. And he does. 53-30, 23-point lead for Jackson. Kingma out between the circles. Now to Jason Todd. Bullet pass down low to Wilgress. Instead, had too many defenders in the way. It's grabbed by Gordon up the floor. McGrath, open, 3, offline, no good. Baganya grabs the rebound. No, he tips it out to Cameron Cook. Here comes Cascade in the reload. Beninati nearly lost the dribble. Now to McGrath, the left-hand side. Pull-up jumper from just below the foul line. It's up, and it's good. Saufer left his feet on the defense, and McGrath puts it up and in. Makes it 53-32, 1 minute to play in the third quarter. Zaire now to Todd. To Wilgress, bounce pass Kingma. Kingma starts the dribble, comes out from the corner, and he'll come out by the big Timberwolf and blazing in the center of the floor here. Jason Todd, now to Zaire. Turnaround jumper from the foul line, too hard, no good. Saufer grabs the rebound. He's got a couple of rebounds here in this third quarter when he came in for Blake. Going in, laying up, no good by Jason Todd. Fouled on the way in, and Jason Todd goes to the free throw line.
Just decided to take it himself, made a couple of moves up, drew the foul, couldn't quite get the ball to roll in. But looking at free throws to try to get into double-figure scoring. Go along with his 6 assists.
Marcus Blake's going to check back in. First free throw good. 10 points now for Jason Todd. Blake comes in. Dan Kingma goes to the bench.
Oh, Cotel went in. Beninati was not happy to be coming out of the game, and so he low-fived him really hard, and then Gotel's kind of rotating his shoulder around going, man, Nick, you're on my team, man. Not so hard.
Next free throw good. 11 points for Jason Todd. 33 seconds to go in the third quarter. Cameron Cook stopped at the left baseline. Tries it again. Again, stopped there. Goes to Boganya. Dribble drive in. Over to the right-hand side. McGrath, open three, too long, and over the top and over the back, and it'll be Jackson basketball.
About 14 seconds left, and obviously they'll want to take the last shot.
So here comes Blake. He'll bring it out of backcourt. Down to 10, down to 9, goes over to the right-hand side. Two-handed! One shot is all they need. It's a slam dunk there by Brian Zaire, and it's 57-32. And then another steal by Jason Todd as the quarter expires. Kind of brings the crowd out of their slumber watching that third quarter. With 8 minutes to play in the ball game, our score, Jackson 57 and Cascade 32. Snohomish County Western Conference Basketball, Fox Sports 1380.
OOP. Yes.
Alley-oop, boop, 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 boop. Well, Buddy Patrick, who's our director of social media, is down there tweeting during this ball game, and Billy was asking us for the spelling of alley-oop.
And then we both started singing the old alley-oop song. So sometimes I do feel sorry for Buddy just having to put up with us.
Wasn't that the Hollywood Argyles alley-oop?
It's also on the Beach Boys
yeah.
album, that live album they did that Barbara Ann is on.
So here we go. Fourth and final quarter here at Jackson High School. And the original, or pretty much the original start, kind of a mishmash of them. Here's Marcus Blake. He'll shoot and hit. I guess he's not seeing double because he saw one rim there after he kind of got checked into the boards early on in that third quarter. Makes it 59-32. That's a 27-point lead for Jackson. Now Cascade with it. Baconia top of the key, out between the circles. Jason Todd is on him as they work at left-hand side. Gotel shoots, hits, three ball left wing, a three for Gotel, and it's 59-35. Saufer to the top of the key goes to Jason Todd. Now to Blake, back to the basket, to the baseline, goes in. Riley Wade puts up a hook shot, no good. Battle for the rebound, won by McGrath, and here comes Gordon out of backcourt for Cascade. Stops, looked at the two, didn't take it. He had nothing but 5 Jackson guys in front of him to get the rebound. A three ball is going to be up, and it's going to be no good by Cameron Cook, and the rebound again cleared out by Jackson. Sam Saufer at the right wing. Bounce pass goes to Jason Todd, last touched by Cascade Bruins, so it'll be no, they're going to say not touched. It went off of Jason Todd. He doesn't like the call. I don't think that's what I saw either.
It's easier to put up with when you're ahead by 32, no, 22, excuse me. But Jason Todd did not think he touched that basketball.
So here comes Cascade off the turnover. That's 10 turnovers for Jackson, 14 committed by Cascade in the ball game. Cameron Cook spins across the timeline, guarded by Blake, puts up the right elbow, and then a foul is going to be called. And Marcus Blake is kind of saying, you know, he did. As Cameron Cook put up the elbow right in his chest to clear out some space. And he's saying, you know, I got elbowed before I ever whacked him on the arm.
Kind of hard when you get called for foul.
Yeah. Inbounds now for Gordon, looking. timeout called by Cascade before the ball is inbounded. We step aside with 6 minutes and 36 seconds to go in the ball game. 59-35. Jackson leads Cascade. Snohomish County Western Conference basketball. Fox Sports 1380.
Be sure to catch the Fox Sports 1380 postgame show on your way home tonight. Tonight's broadcast crew of Tom Lafferty and Bill Kusler will name the player of the game and have all tonight's stats. The next game for the Fox Sports 1380 will feature girls action next Monday night, Arlington at Snohomish.
If it's tricky, it must be good for you. 6 minutes and 36 seconds to play in the basketball game. Jackson with a big lead on their home floor. And Cascade will throw it in at the left baseline. Cascade moving to our left. Cameron Cook out by the center line. 30 on the shot clock. To Gotel, near side. Still looking down low, and the ball's going to be knocked into back court. It's going to be an over and back violation. That's a turnover, and it goes right back over to the Timberwolves. So from the starting lineup, only Marcus, well, I guess there's 3 starters still in there. Jason Todd, Connor Wilgrass, and Riley Waite. Well, Riley Waite is not a starter. Marcus Blake. Waite is in there, though. He's played quite a few minutes here in this ball game. Here's Marcus Blake, wide open. That 3 is going to be no good. And Isaiah Gotel grabs the rebound for Cascade. Gets it back off the pass by Cook. Back out to the top of the key. Into the ball game, Patrick Jackson. For the first time we've seen him tonight, here's a steal. Steal and a bucket up and good for Marcus Blake. And then he'll turn around and immediately play defense on Cameron Cook. And now that's going to bring, here come the subs coming off the bench for Jackson. That's enough with a 61-35 lead. They're all coming in because the students are loving it. Blake comes off a miss, gets the rebound, outlet pass to Wilgrass. Garbage time ensues here at Jackson High School, and then a double dribble call on Cameron McGrath, and a line change now for the Cascade. Well, actually 1 for Cascade, 4 for Jackson. Wilgrass goes to the bench. Jason Todd, Marcus Blake, Sam Saufer will go to the bench as well. So Riley Waite, the only one continuing here. So Waite and Ozuna, along with a couple other new players, but here's a bad pass. Grabbed by Gotel, and out of the backcourt, here comes Cameron McGrath for Cascade. Bruins, Nick Havorka in playing defense. Ball carried out of bounds there by Isaiah Patrick. And we got the trash can goes over, the ball rack goes over, and meanwhile, the trainer's down here doing needlepoint. And I'm not even kidding. She's right down here doing needlepoint. Well, you're doing needlepoint right down in front of us here. I guess that must mean, remember Red Auerbach used to light up cigars for the
winning needlepoint?
The winning needlepoint. So Jackson with the basketball. Ozuna, Roberts. Roberts shoots, misses from 16 left side. Havorka, rebound, up no good. He got kind of, it looked like he got whacked across the bridge of the nose, and he's kind of squinting as it goes to the free throw line. Been a very physical ball game here tonight. Nick Havorka goes to the free throw line. The foul was whistled on Cameron McGrath, his first personal foul, and the 6th team foul. Jackson's only committed 2 team fouls here in the ball game. First free throw good for Nick Havorka, 62-35. 4:54 to play. Another one by Havorka is basketward and in. 63-35. Cameron Cook comes across the timeline, goes Isaiah Gotel. Now to the top of the key to Brennan Hancock. Hancock looking down low. Holden Roberts is on him. Bounce pass looking for McGrath, and a foul is going to be called. I think maybe Nick Havorka is going to get it. Who's going to get it? No. They're going to say that it'll be Dylan Mitchell. Is that correct? Holden Roberts gets the foul. His first personal foul and the 3rd team foul. Cascade, Cameron Cook on the dribble. Bouncing it into traffic, looking for Hancock. He never even got to it. The ball was knocked out of bounds, so it'll be still Cascade ball with 27 on the shot clock in front court at the baseline. Cascade kind of looks like the tank is on E, just about all the players. Cameron McGrath's gone almost the whole way. He turns and shoots and hits a 3-ball. I guess he had enough fumes in there to put up a 3-ball. Makes it 63-38.
Yeah, Cascade has struggled offensively except for McGrath, and he's had a nice ball game tonight.
Holden Roberts goes to Isaiah Patrick. Now to Roberts again. Roberts dribbles into the paint, goes around the defender, plays it up, no good, foul call. He kind of got bailed out there, missed the lay-in, and got fouled on the way in, and will go to the free throw line. Whistled on Cameron Cook, his second personal foul, and the 7th team foul. So that'll mean 1-1 the rest of the way for Jackson, and that'll put Holden Roberts at the free throw line for the Timberwolves. And the first one is on the way, and it is no good. Time to start talking about our Skagit State Bank player of the game here with exactly 4 minutes to go in the basketball game.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking I'd like to talk to one of the reserves, talk about their depth and things.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe Riley Wade. He came in and hit 3 quick baskets in the first half, and also I want to talk to him about his support of the girls team and some different other issues.
Sure.
So even though he may not have been the most valuable player, I want to pick Riley Wade for my player of the game.
We'll do that. Riley Wade will be our Skagit State Bank player of the game. Other issues, you get to Obamacare or the tax issue, or
no, just talk about school spirit, support, working hard, backing up, some really good players, even when you get limited playing time as a senior, and just stuff like that.
Okay, left-hand side Roberts. We're down to 3:18 to play in the game. And we're going to have some more deep reserves coming in now. Frank Rossi checks in, and so does Dylan Mitchell. Holden Roberts will go to the bench. Blake Ozuna will go to the bench for the Jackson Timberwolves. So everybody gets to play. Bill, if you had your tennis shoes, you could go out there, probably get a couple, 3-4 minminutes out there.
You know how long it would take for me to blow my knee out?
Well, I don't know. Would you run out of wind before you got to the other end of the floor? That'd be the question.
Depends if I was on my bicycle or if I had to actually run.
Ball went out of bounds. It'll be Jackson basketball. Leading it big, 63-38, coming up on 3 minutes to play in the game. Nick Kavorka goes in, ball blocked from behind. So a block shot there by Isaiah Gotel. Kept alive though. Back up and in. Good for Dylan Mitchell. And they're going to say, no, he traveled with the basketball. Got it off the offensive rebound off the miss and then traveled with the ball.
Of course, anytime the deep reserves get in and get some playing time, the partisan fans on the opposite side, had a big roar when that ball went in, even though it did not count.
Deep in the right corner, Justin Gordon goes to Brevin Brown. Brown between the circles, on the dribble. Still on the dribble, now he heads to the rack. It goes down to the baseline, blocked there. Frank Rossi was there, and going along with him stride for stride with Isaiah Patrick, and they're going to get Rossi his first personal foul and the 4th team foul. And Brevin Brown goes to the free throw line. 2 shots coming up here for the Bruin point guard. First one is good, and he will get another. 2 minutes and 38 seconds to play in the basketball game. A 63-39 lead for Jackson. Our next game, 3 games next week to wrap up the regular season. Mark Ock and Mike Buckholtz on Monday night have a girls game. The 8th-ranked Arlington Eagles playing at Snohomish. That could be a pretty good ball game as well. So a girls game on Monday, boys game on Wednesday with Mark and Mike Everett at Marysville-Pilchuck. Thursday, Bill and I will wrap it up Mount Vernon at Arlington. End of the regular season with the district tournament on the horizon. Here we go. Jackson gives up on the turnover. It'll be Cascade basketball. Hook shot to the left corner to Isaiah Gotel. Dribble drive along the baseline. Goes around the defender. Kicks it over right-hand side to Hancock. Hancock give it off to Brown. Open NBA 3. Rattles off, no good. Riley Wade grabs the rebound. And here comes Jackson out of backcourt. Up the left-hand side. That is Isaiah Patrick. Now to Riley Waite again. We'll talk to Riley coming up in our post-game show, the Skagit State Bank player of the game. Bounce pass in the corner to Patrick. Now it goes over to the left-hand side to Dylan Mitchell. Misses the lay-in, no good. Pushing foul is going to be whistled here. The final minute 48 of the game.
So Jackson continues to roll. Cascade, having trouble in this ball game, but they've still, even counting this game, have won 4 of their last 6 ball games, and that program definitely on the upswing. And while they haven't been successful tonight, they played really hard.
Across the top of the key, Cascade with it down to the baseline. Isaiah Gotel can't handle it, but it's going to be last touch by Jackson, so Cascade will retain possession with 26 on the shot clock. Minute 38 to go. Brevin Brown will throw it in at the baseline. On the inbounds to Cook. Cook looking for Hancock to break away from the defender. Can't do it. Goes to Brown. He has to kind of sidestep a defender there. 16 on the shot clock. Starts to dribble to the baseline. Closed off there. They'll try to go around Isaiah Patrick. Not happening. And Isaiah Patrick finally picks his pocket and gets the steal. Looking up the floor. Goes in. Laying up. No good. Follow up. No. But it's going to be, kept alive there by Frank Rossi. And they'll reset the offense. Down low it goes in for Dylan Mitchell. Foul called. Mitchell will go to the free throw line. With 1 minute and 8 seconds to go, Dylan Mitchell goes to the stripe, and for the Cascade Bruins, it'll be Patrick Jackson picks up the foul, his first personal foul, 3rd team foul. 8th team foul. That's a 5 plus a 3.
But some of the lights are burned out. Come on.
Lights on Pat's hands are burned out. First free throw is going to be no good, and he will get another with 1:08 to play. Cascade holding on to that number 4 spot out of the South Division. Next free throw, no good. Waite tapped the rebound into the hands of Havorka, who dribbled it out of bounds, gives it over to Cascade. Bruins now host Kamiak on Friday, at Linwood on Tuesday, at Edmonds Woodway on Thursday of next week to wrap up the regular season before the district tournament play continues. They really need to get another, probably at least one more win to secure that number 4 spot. And if it was over Linwood, that'd be the one to do. Brevin Brown shoots a 3 and hits it, makes it 63-43, a 20-point lead. Top of the key, Dylan Mitchell dribbles in, lays it up and in. Dylan Mitchell with the dribble drive laying through the key, 65-43, the final 30 seconds of the ball game. And a foul is going to be called on Nick Havorka, trying to get the steal. And he'll be called for the foul for Havorka, his first personal foul, and the 6th team foul. So out of bounds for Cascade. 24 seconds. Brevin Brown, Cameron Cook, long cross-court pass to Brown. He'll shoot a 3, hit the 3. Brevin Brown with the 3 ball. Down to 10 seconds ago and the 65-46 score. Dylan Mitchell just bring it across the timeline, and this ball game will draw to a close. And our final score will be the Jackson Timberwolves 65 and the Cascade Bruins 46. Now stay tuned for the Westco Rep postgame show. Look at the stats and stars of the game coming up after the break. Again, our final score from Jackson High School, the Jackson Timberwolves 65, the Cascade Bruins 46. This is Snohomish County Western Conference Basketball on Fox Sports 1380.